Prakash, always a pleasure chatting with you. Thanks for joining us tonight. You know, it's like rewind, replay at all these sessions of Parliament, at least in recent times. Both houses of Parliament, today also, they were adjourned. The opposition protesting price rise, Agnipath scheme, the imposition of GST on items like packaged milk and rice. What kind of business do you suspect is going to take place in this monsoon session, considering that we don't have a great track record there, do we?
Thank you for having me on your show. I think, it's a very small session. It's just 17 business days, if I'm not mistaken. And the Treasury benches quite naturally would want the maximum number of bills passed through. They want to keep their track record intact of, having a maximum number of bills passed in the minimum number of days. But the opposition is not keen on doing that. They would want to put the government, the Treasury benches on the dock over. I think the topmost on their agenda is the Agnipath scheme. They would want to highlight that because they feel that that has the potential to be as politically rocky as, say, the passage of the CAA or the farmers' agitation, even that. So, and there was a rollback of the farmers' bill. So the opposition is going to try its level best to stall as much as it can. And they want discussion and they want to highlight the unemployment figures if possible. And as I said, even the farmers' bill. But there are many bills which are up, which will be coming up with, like the insolvency and bankruptcy bill. There is also the digital media regulation bill. This is expected to come up. Now, the parliament, half the time of the parliament goes off in, boycotts and ruckus and walkouts and demonstrations. We've seen all that happening, and then adjournments happen. The ruling party says that the bills have got passed. I mean, the speaker has even said that. He claims that there's been record productivity ever since he took over. But the reason is because the bills get passed without any discussion. They just get passed, the opposition walks out, and the NDA has enough numbers for the bills to be passed. But that is not how a functioning democracy ought to be. There should be, and frankly, the opposition owes it to us or owes it to the people who have voted them into power to see that there are some checks and balances in parliament. The opposition, on the other hand, says that the ruling party doesn't allow them the chance to speak. And now they also have this new dictionary of words, which they claim is another way to disallow the opposition from speaking, because some words are going to be expunged. So it's going to be a volatile session of the monsoon session. Of course, the election to the president and the vice president is another major thing.
So considering that volatility is the name of the game in all sessions of Parliament in recent times, nothing really changes. But when it comes to real business, there are some 24 new bills to be introduced. You named a couple of them, from the ones that are seeking amendment and the ones that are absolutely fresh. Which ones are you watching closely in terms of their significance to our economic landscape, considering, like you said, the ruling dispensation has the numbers? Which are the bills do you think that they are going to push through, especially the ones that are going to change our economic landscape in a significant way?
Well, I think as a media person, I am looking towards the digital media regulation bill. It's not yet got the cabinet approval, but then that doesn't matter. It can pass through parliament. And there is a whole scope of that. As I said, the insolvency and bankruptcy thing is very important, and that's very important for our economy. So let's see whether that gets passed. I mean, the ideal situation would be if everything gets through the parliament and, we see some kind of movement and discussion, most importantly, discussion and debate. And unless that happens, I think all we get to see is politics and not really business in the House that happens. And all of us actually want that, this lack of decorum that we have been seeing in parliament, that should end. And looking at the unemployment figures, looking at the way the world is moving, the dollar rupee rate, everything just hangs on that one significant factor, which is the business of the house.
We seem to have a bit of a technical glitch over there, but the point is well made. Smita Prakash, thank you so much for joining us with your perspective on the monsoon session of Parliament. We'll have